This video brought to you by Park Candy. Be sure to visit the link down in the description below and use offer code OFFHAND to save 10% off of your entire purchase, not just of cool shirts like what I wear, but a bunch of different stuff. Like, you ever had a Spaceship Earth blanket before? Yeah? No, didn't think so! Disneyland Forward is not a third gate. It is not a concept that Disney is throwing around to build in 3 to 5 years. Disneyland Forward is an abstract idea in the heads of the corporation known as the Walt Disney Company. Disneyland Forward is a proposal for rezoning. That's actually it. That's all it is. But with all of that said, I need to draw your attention to this little line of circles right here, because this has my brain moving a million miles an hour. Now, last week, my good friend Mouska Gamer brought something to my attention and clued me into this proposal for what Disneyland Forward could entail. Now, this looks very exciting, and don't worry, we're gonna zoom in, we're gonna zoom around, we're gonna see what is part of this plan, but not quite yet. I do have to set expectations accordingly. Last week, Disney finally submitted its EIR, its Environmental Impact Report, for the Disneyland Forward project, and it seems to be looking pretty dang good, if I do say so myself, and I do. Thank you. By the way, when Live Action Dallin says Disney submitted their report, it means it was released to the public by the city of Anaheim. By the way, Disney did not release this, Anaheim did. Now, the Environmental Impact Report is, how many pages is it? 17,000. Oh, hell no, I'm not reading that. No, we're gonna look at the pictures. Because, yes, while soil studies are pretty entertaining if you're a big rock nerd, talking to my wife, it's the average person doesn't quite care about the soil tests. Am I safe? Is it safe to say that? Can we skip the soil tests here? What we are going to be looking at today, what matters to us, is the noise impact analysis, how much noise is going to be created by this new addition to Disneyland, and how intense that noise is going to be, and the labeled areas and, yes, attractions that are within that noise analysis. So let's go ahead and start on square one. This picture right here. You may have seen it around the internet the past couple of days. This is what we're mainly going to be looking at. This is the noise impact analysis, which basically tells the city where the noise is going to be generated from this new addition. Blue being the least amount, going to yellow, orange, and then eventually red being the highest amount of noise. You can see, if we zoom in, the modern day Disneyland Hotel right there. You see Fantasy Tower, Adventure Tower. Shout out to Trader Sam's. You made the cut. You're there. Don't have to lose Trader Sam's, thank goodness. And it seems from the low loudness level of the area that the land around the Disneyland Hotel won't be changing too much. But when we go up or down, that changes. Now, if you remember, one of the earlier concepts for Disneyland Forward, when we got that art, was not a third gate. Disneyland Forward was not going to be a third gate. And the way I'm phrasing that now, you might be getting excited or angry depending on who you are. Hold on a second. It was more so an expansion to both Disneyland and California Adventure that would envelop the parking lots to the west of the parks. You can see here the orange path that would lead guests from Critter Country into Disneyland Forward, and the blue path that would lead them from Pixar Pier or the Paradise Gardens Park into the new area. This is what we had. Here's what we have now. Now we can see that those entrances from DCA and Disneyland are still in their places, but there is also a brand new entrance added through Downtown Disney. Or maybe it's an exit. It's an easy way to get in or out of, or both, of the new area and the Disneyland Hotel. To make it a bit easier to visualize, I drew a little purple line there showing you the brand new entrance that we have to Disneyland Forward through Downtown Disney. Aren't I quite the artist? But here's a part that still kind of confuses me, and if you know the answer, please be sure to let me know down in the comments. I don't know if anybody would know at this point. But if they're going for that Disneyland expansion up north and California Adventure expansion down south, then where would the checkpoints be, right? The security checkpoints, obviously, but the scanning booths. You would scan into Disneyland through the front gate, obviously, but then if you were in the California Adventure side, would you be able to freely wander into the Disneyland side, but then you'd have to scan in on that little walkway crossing over to Disneyland? Pre-park hopping hours, where would you scan into the California Adventure side? Where would the dividing line be? Does this make any sense? But that also raises the wonderful point of maybe this isn't a Disneyland or California Adventure expansion. Maybe it's a third gate. I don't think it is, though. That would sort of solve the where to scan in problem that I'm seeing here. This could very well be Disneyland. You put some gates right here, you cross through the Disneyland Hotel to get to the other side, and then you can enter DCA that way. That would make a lot of sense.
But listen, I'm not here to talk about who scans in where. We're here to talk about attractions, shows, and yes, the potential of a new way to move People Mover. I mean people. A new way to move people. Now, the total number of new attractions that would be added to Disneyland Forward in this proposition is 14. 7 up on the northern, I guess, Disneyland lot, and 7 down below on the Southern California Adventure lot. Go back up though, go up. We're gonna start at Disneyland first. You can see we have 1, 2 indoor family rides, 1, 2, 3 outdoor family rides, 1 outdoor thrill ride, and 1 indoor thrill ride. Now, despite the title of this video, I am not here to get hopes up in any way, okay? I don't think that Disney even knows what they're going to put in Disneyland Forward quite yet. But I do want to theorize a little bit because there is one part of the Disneyland expansion that catches my eye, and that's a sort of familiar looking experience that is very, very popular at Walt Disney World and is coming soon, I believe, to Hong Kong Disneyland, and that is a sort of mountain roller coaster. Not Space Mountain, not Matterhorn Mountain. Think the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Oaken's Sliding Sleds. Now, obviously, this pitch is what we gamers would call pre-alpha. This is way, 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 way early development. This could all change tomorrow. But this outdoor thrill attraction looks like it could be built into some sort of hill or mountain, similar to the mine train over at the Magic Kingdom. The mine train has proven to be one of, if not the most popular attraction at the Magic Kingdom year after year after year. And I think Disney knows this, and they know people like this Fantasyland dark ride / roller coaster style attraction, and it's time Disneyland got one of their own. This may be Disneyland's very own Seven Dwarfs Mine Train attraction, or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train adjacent attraction. Looking at the concept art from 3 years ago, it doesn't offer us many clues. Your guess is as good as mine as to whether it's a direct clone of the mine train or something else, but I do think it's that style of attraction. Although, when it comes to the other family rides and the other thrill rides, I am at a complete loss, and like I said, this is so early into the concept and development phase that I don't think Disney really does either, but them putting this attraction into the sound report is very interesting. It's not really carved in stone, it's more like somebody took a toothpick and sort of scratched it into the side of a cliff face. So something like that, you know? Whereas before, there was nothing at all. This is just little markings that we can kind of decipher. And I wish I could say moving down to the California Adventure expansion, things get a bit more interesting, but they only seem to get more vague. You have your indoor thrill rides, that's a big show building right there. You have your outdoor family rides, but the thrill ride on the outdoors is interesting. The sound ring doesn't go all the way around it. You can see guest traffic going all the way around it in sort of a ring, but you cannot see, you know, a whole orange ring around it like we found with the mine train up on the Disneyland side, which is very interesting to me. Now, we can theorize about rides that even Disney doesn't know about all day, but what I really want to talk about is a means of conveyance, a way that we can all of us people, move around this new expansion. Found in the document, it says, quote, "Please forgive me, I'm about to read a lot of boring words, but it will get exciting in a second. In order to facilitate development of new attractions west of Disneyland Drive, up to 2 additional pedestrian bridges or crossings may be constructed over Disneyland Drive and will serve as a continuation of the themed environment across the roadway." Continuing on, blah, 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 who cares, lame, lame, lame. These crossings may be in the form of a bridge or sunken roadway similar to the existing downtown Disney Bridge, an elevated bridge with similar aesthetic treatment and dimensions as the existing downtown Disney Bridge, or a themed ride system. 2 themed ride systems immediately jump to mind for me. I don't know about you. One here pictured that Disney provided themselves the Skyliner at Walt Disney World, which, may I say, is one of my favorite ways to get around. I absolutely love the Skyliner. It's a very obvious callback to the Skyway at Magic Kingdom and Disneyland that was around back in the day, and it adds a lot of kinetic energy and a lot of excitement getting to and from the parks. It's one of those rides before a ride, you know, the monorail, the tram, that sort of thing, except this one is in the sky, and it's lining. But if you don't want a Skyliner, you want something else, you're afraid of heights, you know, the landing is always the most terrifying part for you because it feels like you're about to crash into the Skyliner in front of you, that's totally fine. Instead, how about we scroll down and see what other ideas Disney has? Okay, let's talk let's talk people movers. Now, the return of the people mover to Disneyland's Tomorrowland is my personal goal. That is when I know that, you know, we've made it. We've done it. Disney, it's over. We did it. We won. I've said it before and I'll say it a million more times. It lends so much to the kinetic energy of the land. It gives you an attraction to do in the middle of the day when everything's super busy that you can just sort of relax on and enjoy Disneyland. And the third reason being I am dug way too deep into bring back the people mover at this point for me to drop it and for Disney to never bring it back. Please, Disney, bring it back. You have to, okay? This would not be a people mover returning to Tomorrowland. This would be a people mover bringing guests through and around the new expansion of Disneyland Forward. But not in the current plot of land that we've been discussing this entire time. Not near the Disneyland Hotel or the Simba parking lot. This is where the Toy Story parking lot is located today. Also, side note, does anybody else absolutely love this picture? With the fancy, you know, whimsical Disneyland sign and the fog in the background, it's just concrete and fences. It's very liminal. I kind of love it. If you remember, it's this piece of concept art that we got a couple years back. This is where the Skyliner / people mover would be transporting guests from the original Disneyland Resort area to this new expansion where the Toy Story lot currently is. If you're an Orlando person, long story short, the Toy Story parking lot is a parking lot that you have to take a bus to in order to get into. It's far away enough from Disneyland that it takes a little extra time to get into the park. Not a tram, a full-on bus, and it's completely disconnected from the rest of property. Now, this area would sort of be a miniature Disney Springs with shops, hotel rooms, and different entertainment venues. Not downtown Disney, Disney Springs. And did I mention that this new space will also include 2 brand new hotels, or at least 1 two-parter hotel with, you know, 2 separate buildings? Now, I know this isn't going to appease the issue that I have, but I do have an issue with the hotels at Disneyland, how there are only 3 of them on property and they are all obscenely priced. Me, I'm a simple man. I like to check into the Pop Century or maybe even an All-Star Movies resort, and I like to chill and relax and enjoy my vacation there because they're just as good, if not better, than some moderates, all right? I'll die on that hill. And part of me hopes that one of these 2 new hotels will be a quote-unquote moderate, as the Walt Disney World people call them, with the goal of making it more attainable for more people to stay on Disneyland property, because I think staying on property adds to the experience a lot, but who am I kidding? They're going to be 2 5-star, extremely fancy hotels that nobody ever is going to be able to stay at, unless you have $600,322,007. Just build a West Coast Coronado Springs. Seriously, it's so easy, so simple. Or I don't know, Caribbean Beach is really cool too. I really like Caribbean. Or the Port Orleans Hotel. What were we talking about? Oh, people movers, yeah. What really is interesting to me here is what do you think will be behind security and what will not be behind security, right? You have to go through security to get into Disney Springs, to get into downtown Disney, to get into the parks, obviously. You do not have to go through security in order to get onto the Skyliner at Walt Disney World, but you do, obviously, to go on the People Mover. Will it be more like the monorail that you do have to go through security through, so it's more of an attraction type, you know, ride, or will it be more just a form of transportation like the Skyliner, where you don't really have to be within the bubble of the parks to get on it? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. I would like it to be more attraction-based, obviously, but if it's just a mode of transportation that happens to be a people mover, I'll take what I can get at this point. Even better, though, I think maybe not logistically feasible, would be something similar to the monorail that we currently have at Disneyland, where it's within the park, but it can drop you off at different places all around the resort. So say the loading station for Tomorrowland is where that old People Mover station was, and it'll take you across the Esplanade to DCA somewhere. Maybe on the side of the former Stage 17, since they're not using that anymore, and then that will also go either back to Disneyland or have a connecting line over to the Toy Story parking lot. You know what I mean? Fulfill the original idea for the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, the original Epcot Progress City, and have a people mover design for taking people places. I would be in heaven. Also, not to mention, it would complete the circle of the Walt Disney World people mover, seeing a people mover, taking people to places on the people mover. Come on, it's simply too good. And it was about halfway through me recording and editing this video that Disney announced they are planning on investing $60 billion in the parks division over the next 10 years. And if you keep up with Disney Parks news, I'm sure you've seen this around somewhere, and I really want to encourage you to check out Jack over at DSNY Newscast's video on how this may end up looking, this $60 billion investment. I'll put a card right up there in the corner and a link in the description down below. He goes over it in a very realistic business sense before, you know, I can come in here and tell you all that this means they're absolutely, without a doubt in my mind, building a $60 billion people mover next year. Get excited, folks. Get very excited. It's happening. We're getting the people mover and it's gonna cost $60 billion. It's opening tomorrow. This isn't me saying this. This is from Bob Iger's lips himself. The people mover is opening tonight. They moved it up. I'm so excited. Oh, it's open right now. Also, between you and me, Bobby Eyes, I know you watch these videos. Why don't we just go ahead and make sure some of that $60 billion goes towards cast members and writers and actors? How about that? How about we do that first? I don't know what this $60 billion means for Disneyland specifically, or Walt Disney World specifically, or even the parks in general, or the cruise lines, but I do hope that it means improvements to the existing parks. I don't think it means a 5th gate. I don't think it means a 3rd gate at Disneyland, but I do think it means $60 billion people mover. Now, there are far, far more things being alluded to and talked about in this document, and I highly suggest you go read a lot of it yourself. There's other YouTubers covering this. You can go see their videos to talk about different aspects of it, but I really wanted to hammer home the people mover in this video specifically, but also the fact that Disneyland Forward is more real. It's more tangible right now than it was even just a year ago. It feels like we're moving toward the right direction for Disneyland. And if Disneyland can become more of a full resort rather than just a visit one day, visit another day, and then fly home, I want to go to Disneyland for a week. I want to go to Disneyland for a week and a half. I want to have something new to do for most of my stay. I know that might be asking a lot, and I know we're not quite there yet. Maybe Disneyland Forward won't even get us to that point, but I think any improvements, any expansion to Disneyland is a good thing, okay? Even if it's all IP-based, even if everything is Encanto and Black Panther and Zootopia, you know, at least it's more Disneyland. And I love more Disneyland. And I hope atmospheric attractions are part of their plan, because goodness gracious. Give me more Railroad, give me more Mark Twain, give me more Columbia, give me more People Mover. The next update you'll probably hear from me regarding Disneyland Forward and expansions coming to the Disneyland Resort will likely be early next year, so we got a couple months off of Disneyland Forward news for a while, unless Disney breaks something massive, because that's when the proposal goes before the city of Anaheim for a vote. I don't know who exactly votes on it. I'm not from Anaheim. But if you are, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this expansion down in the comments below, because I'm not a local. I have never been a local, and I don't really know what it's like from a local point of view. I'm always taking planes like some sort of filthy tourist. But as is the case for most everything Disney related these days, we will just have to wait and see. And until then, I bid you all adieu. And Variant coming in. How's it going? It's been a week and we still haven't heard anything. I don't know. I'm just really worried about him, you know? Listen, we all are. Looks good on you, though. No, what, the sweater? It's all we got left of him, you know? Sweater, Dallin? What? No, not the sweater, the spooky shirt that you got on underneath it. Oh, this? This is from Park Candy. Oh yeah, those ones with the Spaceship Earth blanket, right? Oh, it's much more than that. Park Candy also has bags, dresses, pillows, and yes, even bottle openers that look like everybody's favorite poison. The poison for Kuzco. Kuzco's poison. That poison? And by visiting parkcandy.com and using offer code OFFHAND at checkout, you can save 10% off of whatever order you want to be ordering. Wow, what a steal. I look just like you now, huh? Wow, I hate it. But do you know what I don't hate? This is a Spaceship Earth backpack. I have got to visit parkcandy.com and use offer code OFFHAND for 10% off of my order. More Spaceship Earth, please. More Spaceship Earth, always. Listen, if we find the sweater variant, you will be the first to know. Trust me. Thanks. So, what's this week's video about? Disneyland Forward. Disneyland Forward? As if that's ever going to end up happening. What are you looking at? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching this video of me rambling about the possibility of a people mover. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you're new around here and you want more videos like this. I say the same thing every week, it's almost like second nature. A very big thank you to all of my supporters over at patreon.com/offhanddisney. They are the ones that help kind of keep this channel moving along down the old brick road. There's no yellow bricks, it's just regular colored red brick. Dare I say cobblestone, but they are all lovely, and if you want to join their ranks, get early access to videos and some hopefully upcoming Patreon exclusive videos. That's right, I'm going to start doing stuff like that now. Head over to the link in the description, and even just $1 a month will get you access to most of the perks. Again, thank you all so much. And if you want to follow me on other social medias, the free ones, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, I believe. Yes, just checked. It's still TikTok. Good. I am at Offhand Disney on all of those platforms. If you want more Offhand Disney goodness, badness, I guess it just depends on who you are, what you value, right? And as always, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next week from the park, right? I'm going to Disneyland next week. It's going to be so fun. I am very much looking forward to trying Tiana's Palace. It just recently opened up. My friends who have been there already, what did you think? I'm very curious. It looks so good. But that's about it for this week. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Goodbye. Hey! 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 In here! Hey, you okay? Thank goodness. It's been weeks. Where were you? Don't worry, we're gonna get you out of here, but before we do, you need to give me that stone. Oh, yeah, the stone, right. Here, this thing, right? Here you go. Thank you. You don't know how much this means. Yeah, no problem. No, you really don't know how much this means. Enjoy another couple weeks in there. Wait, where are you going? Wait! Hey! Hey! Don't worry, boss. I got it.